It's crazy because you see both of these two characters fighting like in their own way, and this dynamic is very interesting. Like because there's so much bravery in like Ron being the first and only police in the Colorado like police department, which the beginning scene I like sent to you was like, what?
Gee.
Yeah. I like when the white cop was like being indirect. He was like, "How would you react if?" And then like the black cop just comes in like, "How would you react if somebody called you a ninja or worse?"
But you know what I also find interesting is how much the N word is used in this movie, but it doesn't ever feel like it's overused or it's like um I don't know, I guess it feels like the term kind of flows in with the movie because we know and I feel like at that time it was so readily used, like it wasn't a term that was taken out just yet.
Mm.
Um,
At
but
that
I
time,
think it's
was it already like the white community like wouldn't say that, right? Was that because they
I'm
like
really
I
not
was asking
sure.
you, right? I was like, do because they keep calling black people Negroes,
Negroes,
and I
yeah.
was like, did they just like change two letters? Like,
Well, I think so the term Negro has always been like the scientific term for Black people for quite a while. And then the N word was just a derogatory way of referencing Black people.
hmm.
Um, and so that was always, so now we have like a negative connotation for the term Negro, but
Hmm.
at the time that's just what you were. But I think they reference it, they say like it's now African American, you know, like you can't use the term Negro anymore, like
Oh
god, they're
yeah,
getting so
I
much
think one of the
privilege.
white suprem yes, one of them was saying that.
Exactly, it's like
Mm.
now it's African American, you know, like like sorry. um yeah, I think, I don't know if it was the same for you, but the movie wasn't very surprising to me in terms of content.
Hmm.
I think the delivery was very surprising, but
Hmm.
content-wise, I was kind of aware of how like white supremacists act, the way they think, this like weird dichotomy they can, or what? No, it's a cognitive dissonance they can have where they're like, you know, I knew this one Black person and they were basically kind of human, you know, like I could
Like they were okay,
appreciate
like they're
them.
good.
Like they were good, but all the other ones, the ones I've never met, never spoken to, only seen on the street,
Uh-huh.
they're the ones that need to be murdered and killed. And it's just like,
Hmm.
you see a
For
problem
me,
with your logic?
it's true. Like I really this yeah the way he like delivered it was really interesting, and like how he like overlapped a lot of like the two movements. Well, one that's like legitimate, the other one's like the hate movement was
Hmm.
very very how do you say gets the message across. I would say.
And what I thought was interesting is how they have Ron go into this movement
Mm-hmm.
to, or go into the Kwame Ture talk and say like, oh yeah, you know, they're trying to mobilize, you know, you don't want to get them too fired up. And it's just like,
I like how you went.
sorry,
I like how you went on mute, and you're like, I knew.
it was coming.
Uh,
um and how like the liberation and the the riling up of Black people is perceived as more of a threat than the KKK. And they
mm,
had like security detail for David Duke, you
mm-hmm.
know, by a Black man. They literally sent this
That
guy
was
in to be
ridiculous.
I was just like, you know, about the
I wonder
whole
if
investigation.
in real life, like the chief was like kind of more racist. I don't know. Like, do you think, or
I
do you think the chief really had confidence in Ron, the fact that he could handle it?
I mean, I felt like there was this weird feeling where I felt like he was racist, or not even racist.
I
I
would
feel like
think
he was
this, right? Like
prejudiced.
he's he's very bureaucratic too, so he would never go against the
The
rules.
cop.
If the
Yeah,
rules was
exactly.
kind of putting someone above another, it's the rule. But
Exactly.
so I felt like the fact that he at the end was kind of where he teamed up with Ron, like Empatries, to get the racist
The
cop out. That was by
Mhm.
the book because he got them on recording and and he's a very like bureaucratic
By the
man.
book.
So maybe that
That
also
actor
really
actually, he always
huh?
plays like the same character.
Yeah.
He's on like Law and Order SVU, and the cops hate him because he plays Internal Affairs
He seems
Bureau,
like a
which
very
is like the
internal
people
affair.
who exactly.
So
So uh I when I saw that character, I knew they're gonna have like him by the book and kind of perceived as somewhat racist,
mm,
but you realize that he's perceived as racist because the system inherently is racist
yeah.
and doesn't allow for bad cops to be prosecuted.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So yeah.
Mm. What were we talking about?
Oh,
Oh
there
yeah,
was
you were
also
saying
talking
like
about,
the what is it? The you're surprised by the lack of violence, right?
yeah.
The actual violence of the movie line, like the storyline in the movie.
Hmm. Um, I I guess I was expecting more bloodshed to
Mm.
kind of hammer in how dangerous the KKK is.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I think they did that by showing the sorrow that they felt
Mm-hmm.
when, some Jesse Washington who was murdered, and and postcards were made of his lynching, that hits harder than seeing a character that you kind of go through with getting killed.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And um I felt that was a lot more powerful than actually showing someone getting killed.
And it was
I
also
I
the like the lingering kind of distress or fear, right? That carries around
Mhm.
the whole movie where Ron and Flip do their operations. And even at the end when Flip got found out, I was like, oh my God.
I was worried. I was so stressed. I was like, how is he going to get his way out of this? And then
Yeah.
all those guys end up getting murked.
Yeah. And it's just like Spike Lee didn't go to like the easy plots. Like he really kind of like kept the tone like a weird high with humor and low and then like with an actual message and then like he was able to like
Mhm.
get that through the whole movie and that was like
I really felt that the message was more important than the story itself,
hmm?
because he definitely could have gone the route of like a very showy 70s action flick,
Mm-hmm.
or he could have gone into something like 12 Years a Slave, where like it feels like all the black people are powerless, but I felt like he portrayed black people as having power. you know there is the black power movement and these people who are so ready to fight and get their rights, and then there's Ron, who kind of, he does it in a different way, and even when he's like security detailing, the only time he gets angry is when Landers pisses him off, which is the awful racist cop. um and like he's always on top when he's doing the security detail, even that like one scene with the quick photo where
Mm,
they like, even that moment, they're so stressed out, and
mm-hmm,
it's just like, a black guy just touched you, like, can you chill out, like you look stupid, you know what I mean?
mm-hmm. How did you feel
Yeah.
about the relationship between Flip and Ron? Like how did you feel that they had like some sort of brotherhood kind of like relationship? Like what was their like
I think
storyline?
at the beginning,
Mm,
um Flip kind of made it seem like, um, Ron was just trying to get revenge, just getting revenge for his people. Like there's nothing about it that was actually serious,
mm,
because, and that was a scene where Ron talks about how, as a Jewish person who's passing
mm-hmm,
for a white man, you why don't you have a stake in this game? And I don't think it's anyone's place to say like, hey, you're a minority, you need to be politically active.
mm,
But I thought it was interesting that Flip wasn't bothered by those things until after Ron was like, hey, you have a, like they're talking about you too. Just because you can pass for a white person doesn't mean you are white. And if they ever find out that you are Jewish, they will kill you.
And that character Felix like really tries to like hammer out of him, like even like the fact that like, are you sure you're not Jewish? Like,
let me see your dick. Like,
it's like that interrogation was like kind of like intense / hilarious because the fact that he was like involving like having to see his penis. I'm like, this is some ridiculous stuff.
When they threw the when Ron threw the stone through the person's window, I was like, oh my god. And
I didn't even see that coming. I didn't even know what Flip was gonna do. I was like, is he gonna, like, what is he gonna do? Like
he's like, oh shit. So like he really had to like think quick. And I like how, because what also happened is when Ron is driving away, there's an opportunity for him to get shot, and then Flip has to come in and like hit his arm and then
grab
like take the gun and then like and I think the scene, there was a scene where they go shooting and they're shooting like caricatures of black people, and then his shot is perfect.
So that was,
and I thought that was going to be I was waiting for them to be a bit more suspicious about it, and I was like, wow, these guys are actually imbeciles. Like, yeah.
I think honestly it's funny because like I feel like in real life also you basically don't imagine a reality that's against your own, right? Basically, like the voice may be different on the phone and you just don't imagine that. Like if I was talking to you now and then versus just without the video and it's somebody else, like I guess back then it was a bit more different, and maybe like the phone and quality is different also, but it's just you really care about your own reality. It's what the whole movie is like too, right?
I think, and I also think that we're more suspicious now, just because we're definitely more suspicious. And
Catfished.
I think they thought so low of black people, that they would never think that a black man could infiltrate the KKK. That's the thing.
Yeah, it's weird that they made it so secretive, but like they kind of they didn't add, but then they made the process weirdly secretive, and they had like a membership card, like a library card, which
I think I think the way that Spike Lee portrays it, because there's a way that you can portray it where they're really scary, like they're so serious. Look at these rituals. Look at this, like, look at this cross burning. But he makes them look ridiculous. You know what I mean? At every turn, they look ridiculous. And I think that's something that Mel Brooks did when he did The Producers, and turning Nazis into ridiculous looking people, and I think that's an important way of depicting someone who's dangerous. Like, take everything that makes them an imbecile and just portray that. Like, don't make them look good at all. And that's how you take away their power.
Well, how would you rate it out of your scale of, I don't know, your imaginary scale?
I'd rate this movie as a very strong comb to comb through my hair. So like something that's like good quality, does the job, gives a message, and hits home, but in the form of a comb for my afro when it's not in braids. What would you rate it?
I would rate it as this can of organic sparkling treat water. It's refreshing, something that you need, and that does not have a bad aftertaste, which is good. Leaves you wanting more.
Oh, I like that.
So it's a recommend for both of us.
Yes.
Yay. Okay. So we still didn't find our outro. So yay, guys! Subscribe and comment, and let us know what movie to watch next because we
running out. We don't know.
Watch too much Netflix, but never. Well, you actually had to what is it? Like pay for this.
I had to purchase it. This is gonna go on our cost list.
It's gonna be like the first purchase. Like
I know exactly.
You have business up, you'll be like deducting like $4.99. I'll be like, what is this for? Remember that movie we watched?
Remember that one movie I had to download because it wasn't streaming anymore?
That was your fault. You should have watched it while you were in Canada.
I know. Oh well.